Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the pop off. Nigel is going to be with us in a minute. He's having a little bit of technical difficulty, but today, guys, we are going to be talking about NBA playoffs. We had a ton of action the last couple of days, and we are looking forward to another couple of weeks of it. We'll talk a little bit about Juan Soto. Hopefully, we'll get into that. And but guys, more importantly, let's talk about the death of the 24-25 Boston Celtics. I was hoping we could have did it last Friday, but the Knicks gave a stay of execution. And it's sad. It's a sad day for Boston fans. It's been a sad week. It's gonna be a sad offseason. They lost their Prince Tatum. He probably won't be back for another couple. I see Wudi smiling because he knows. He won't be back probably for another season. Nubs, are you ready to go?
God, I wanted you to have this moment because you were so excited for the funeral, for the eulogy of the Celtics. So I wanted you to revel in it and just sit in it for a sec.
It's been a glorious few days because I know so many Boston Celtics fans. And it's been a glorious time to just basically to hear them whining and bitching and moaning and complaining about the refs and about this and about that. So I think a lot of us can say that if you're not a Celtic fan, you're a Celtic hater. I think there's a lot of us, right? So God bless the Celtics. They'll be back eventually one day. But for now, this is a Knicks division. Hopefully by next week, it'll be a Knicks conference. And I see that for the foreseeable future. There we go. Wudi, what do you think? I mean, you're a Knicks guy. Come on, man. Are you with me or what?
The Celtics, yes, they are a fantastic team. They have ruled the division in the East for quite some time. I'm definitely not in this, funeral, type. I mean, I think they can bounce back. I'm sick that Tatum got hurt. I wanted him to be healthy so that we can say we beat. I can still say that we were 3-1 with healthy Tatum, but still, there were still those people that could have came back from 3-1, all that type of stuff. So I would have loved to eliminate that from the narrative completely. But I think for the state of basketball, this is it actually is kind of sad because the Celtics, roster-wise, they were probably the best team in the league. Tatum, Brown, Derek White, Porzingis, Horford, Drew Holiday. I mean, I don't know any team is going that deep with quality players. And I think just like the last time I thought the Boston Celtics had the best roster in the league, which was from 2008 to 2011, both times I think they had the wrong coach. So they only got one ring out of it. Whereas, if they kept my boy Ime Udoka, I think they would have had more rings to go with. And if they had just about anyone on this pod as opposed to Doc Rivers, they would have got more than one rings that for the Boston 3 party. So sad for them. I'm not hype. I'm not doing a cartwheel or nothing. We have a situation right here that we need to address with Indiana, so I can't even be thinking about Boston right now. But it's sad for the league that the league's best roster is about to get blown up.
Caleb? I'm sorry, it's Nigel's job, and I just want to hear what everybody has to say about it.
No, you lead this one. Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great.
I don't care about the Celtics funeral because they've been dead for 2 weeks now. I want to talk about what happened Wednesday night. Okay? That's what we need to talk about. That's what needs to be addressed. Because see, that's what Knicks fans do. Y'all like cowgirl fans. Let me tell you, boy. Y'all be moving the group. Oh, no, look what we did weeks ago. We won a championship in 95. Oh, look at us over here in 73. Oh, look at that. No. Let's talk about what happened with Big Game Halle B. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the travel.
That's a real death.
I mean, the double dribble.
It ain't a funeral. We're talking about a mauling.
We're talking about the double dribble, right? Before the shot that never took place.
Hey, it don't matter. It don't matter. You can call it what you want. You can call it triple dribble, all you want to. Guess what? Cash.
Definitely not cash. It's more like coins.
It shot her around the world. It hit the back of the rim and bounced up for 20 minutes, and it stood there. Everybody was waiting, and that thing came straight back down through the blessings of God. Right out, right? I'm trying to tell y'all right now. Don't you try to, and Wudi touched it. That's where we going, Gene. Boston fans, it's over. All good. You got the most expensive roster. Two dudes over $600 million. Y'all should adjust that because neither one of them is worth that much money. I don't give a damn how pretty Jason is or whatever you want to do. It ain't worth $600 million.
No.
But I digress. Nigel, how you doing? Did you see the game? Did you see Caleeb B? And them boys from the Klan state, the state where the Ku Klux Klan originated. Got a whole bunch of brothers on that team right now. Cooking. You know
that is a different pod, my friend.
Yeah.
We can get into that at a different moment. But yeah, man, this is the pop off. And this is, I mean, listen, first of all, I'll address the first topic, which is the Celtics funeral. I think Caleeb nailed it when he just said, this is a roster. This is a squad that the funeral should be for their wallets, not for management's wallets. It shouldn't be for the player. It should be for the, because now they have a real mess that they have to clean up in terms of how they can see the future, how they proceed into the future, because that's a lot of money that's gone or is going to two players or that. Yeah, man. So it's like they got a lot of work to do in that case, because I think the hopes were not only for the Bostonians, but for the team and for the management, for the franchise to win at least a back-to-back. Then it kind of makes things hurt a little less. It just stings just a little less because things were going so well, but then they got upended. And I think everybody freaked out when they went 0-2 in the Gardens. Everybody freaked out, and rightfully so, because they're the number one seed. They're going in there with all the momentum, and people know who they were. And then we found out who they were meant to be. A team that's just going to shoot a bunch of threes. They don't adjust fast enough, and they just couldn't handle it. And so what happened? They just got kicked around the Irish block. That's what happened. Now, let's go right to where we want to go to, and we want to talk about. Yeah.
I do want to give my eulogy.
Yes, of course, of course.
Oh, that wasn't it before? Oh,
no, that wasn't it.
That's what I thought too. No, you have the floor. You have the floor.
Hold on, I wrote it down because I needed this to be special.
This guy.
So I want to say, gather around the shamrock-shaped dumpster fire as I deliver this eulogy for the Boston Celtics 24-25 playoff run, playoff season, and maybe organization in general. They stumbled, tripped, face planted. So I want all you Celtic fans to grab your tissues, because this one's going to sting worse than a flat Sam Adams at a Southie dive bar. Boston, you rolled into the postseason like you owned it. Jason Tatum strolling around like he's the second coming of Larry Bird. Chucking fadeaways that clang off the rim louder than a T-train derailment. Jaylen Brown talking smack and dunking on nobody but his own ego. And don't get me started on that leprechaun-obsessed fan base. Screaming, we're going to be back-to-back champs. Y'all were hyped up like a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through at 6 a.m. But when the bright lights of the playoffs hit you in the Madison Square Garden and of New York City, you gagged more than some bop chick on OnlyFans. What happened, Beantown? Did Tatum's wrist get tied from all those Instagram stories? Did Brown spend too much time practicing his scowl instead of his free throws? I bet the TD Garden is still echoing with the sound of bricks and wails of fans who thought Banner 19 was a sure thing. Spoiler alert, it's not. It won't be for a few more years, maybe ever. Your playoff run was like a guy who trips over his own shoelace and cries about it. Let's pour one out for the highlights, though, because they were comedy gold for us Stick fans. Remember when Tatum airballed, clutch threes, I laughed so hard I spilled my bodega coffee. Or when your defense gave up 20-point leads back to back. And the best part, watching your friends storm to Twitter to blame a ref. Instead of admitting the truth, you got outplayed, out-hustled, and outclassed. Now, I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy every second of this, seeing Boston crash and burn like Christmas morning for a Knicks fan, except instead of presents, we get the joy of watching your misery. But don't worry, you got a long offseason to drown your sorrows in overpriced chowder and argue about whether Brad Stevens is still a genius. Meanwhile, we're over here in New York dreaming of spiking the ball in your face next season at the Garden, the real Garden, MSG, as well as the fake Garden over in Boston. So rest in pieces or rotten pieces, Celtics 2024-25 playoff hopes. You were overhyped and messy. Here's to the crying fans and to their green hoodies and to the sweet, sweet sound of silence from that parquet. Better luck next year if you can find a 4-leaf clover that is big enough to fix the mess, with zero sympathy and a whole lot of shade from your friendly Knicks fan. Amen. And I do want to leave with a quote from FitzMagic 3:16. The book of FitzMagic, chapter 3, verse 16.
Okay.
Fuck Boston.
Did you see the game on Wednesday?
I'm gonna just say this.
Is that about the Wednesday game?
Did you see that we just gave up a 15-point lead?
It's not about Wednesday's game. It's not about Wednesday's game.
Listen.
First off, my eulogy was written before Wednesday's game. So
Nigel is from Toronto, and they have a huge Caribbean population there.
Yeah.
And there's a thing my brothers from the island say. They say, when you dig a hole, make sure you dig two.
Do they say that?
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do. 100%.
It's a Caribbean saying. So you dig in a hole, just make sure you dig two, because it's one for them and one for you. Because it's coming. So you better be cool. I'm just saying. I'm not saying the Knicks is gonna lose, but you really putting some bad juju out there for them.
This has nothing to do with Knicks Pacers. This has nothing to do with Knicks Pacers. This is all about Boston.
No, that's not how the universe works. Yep,
this is all about
put it out there. That's what comes back.
Saying, it was a nice little ride you guys had. It is over.
Wait, hold on. Wudi, you go.
I'm trying to erase all of everything you just said. Like, you literally just described game one from our perspective, and then you doodle it on them for what we just endured. I actually think that's the reason why we lost game one, because you wrote this ready to go on Friday, and the good Lord above said, "You know what? Put that ball right back into the hoop after it bounced up." So that's crazy that you caught this game one. Crazy, Gene.
I mean, Gene, it feels like you've had a lot. You've wanted to write that for years. There's a lot decades. There was a lot behind it, and I want to commend you for going that far. The three of us 100% did not. We had feelings. We shared those feelings, but you came with a written, prepared. You had pregnant pauses. You had bloated pauses. You had real emotion. Thank you for that, my dude. I needed that, and hopefully it doesn't permeate into your Knicks. I will say this before we go into our next. Well, we're there. We're into the topic, but
yeah,
I did say I'm not patting myself on the back. I think I'm talking about all of us. I did say that I love when we have classic teams like the Knicks, Celtics, not only in the playoffs, but when they play and they play that hard and they play against each other, the NBA is just better for it, because we all know that let's be real. The Warriors Timberwolves series fine, but it felt weird, right? There was drama, there was stuff, but it just wasn't the caliber of the other.
It was ass. You can say it.
Yeah,
you don't have to be polite.
I'm being polite. I'm being very Canadian. You know what I mean? It was pretty tough to watch. The other ones way better, but that classic matchup. So now we have another classic matchup that people don't realize. This Knicks Pacers thing, this goes back. This is a real thing. You want to talk 90s basketball, which again, Caleeb, Wudi, I see you guys shaking your heads. We understand how the game goes, because in the 90s, ball was so different. And this is the classic franchise matchup, believe it or not, that used to meet up all the time. Where did the choke come from? Came from Reggie Miller, from one of the pivotal times in his career. It's a thing, y'all. It's a thing. So right now we have this fantastic series, and the Pacers are doing due diligence, and they're putting in the work. Listen, whatever calls were missed or calls were called, it still happened. So now, how do the Knicks recover? And will they go down 2? Because the next game tonight, the next game's 8 p.m.
Tonight.
Eastern. Oof. What are we thinking, fellas? What are we thinking?
I think it's going to be great. I actually think the Knicks will win it tonight because I think they have to. I don't think they want to go down 2-0 back to Indiana, because then it's just bad. Right? Like, so I think the Knicks will pull it out. I'm expecting them to. Big Body Brunson, who I think is ridiculous, I think will have a good night. But this series is going to be real. Halliburton showed it. Naismith showed it. Like they're coming. This ain't gonna be no easy win to the finals. That when they'll be playing OKC, who I think just won it last night. I love Ant-Man, but I don't think they're gonna do it. But anyway, I digress. I do think the Pacers gonna win. And there was somebody in the chat, I think it was Adventure something, said the league wants the Pacers to win. Are you crazy? You think Adam Silver wants a team from Indiana in the finals and not the New York Knicks? Yeah, right. He's livid. He was like, yo, Cat, just hit the shot. I can't put it in for you. Jesus, I'm trying. I'll put AI. I'll do whatever it needs. They trying to get them in the finals. Believe it. It ain't that. It's just them boys from Indiana ain't playing. So there's that. But I do think the Knicks win tonight. If they don't, I think it's really bad. I think it's a must win for the Knicks is what I'll say.
Allow me to respectfully disagree. I think that the Knicks will be fine either way. I do think they're winning tonight, but I think they'll be fine either way. This season in the playoffs, the Knicks have literally lost one, not 2, not 3, not 4, just one away game. They've been killing people on the road. They won.
That's ridiculous.
They won all their. Well, I didn't. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
But the Knicks won all 3 games in Detroit, right? The only games they lost in that series were home games. Mm-hmm. And then in the Celtics, we already know what they did. Games 1 and 2 in Boston. Like, they have been killing it on the road. So I am not at all nervous about playing in Indiana, whether it's 1-1 or 0-2. I was actually expecting it to be 0-1. I just didn't think it was going to be game 1 that we were going to lose. I thought it was, win game 1, lose game 2, and then win the rest out. I had Knicks in 5. I still believe that. I mean, game 1, this wasn't like some, back and forth, gladiators type thing. No, the Knicks were winning the whole game. And you know what happened? I know this is a layered topic, but we talking about it anyway. Is 3 minutes left. Knicks are up 15. What did James Wudi do? James Woody's like, oh, this game's over. Babe, you need me to take the baby to bed? Yeah, this is a good time. I take the baby to bed, all this stuff. Sure, baby, what I'm saying? We're like in the crib, doing my thing, come back down. This dude, Aaron Neesmith, hit like 3 threes when I was upstairs. What is he doing? He's still hitting threes when I'm watching the game. The boy has never hit 8 threes in a game in his life. Hit up his elementary school teacher. Yo, was he doing this in 3rd grade, 4th grade? No, in his life. He's never done that, but he did it right there. And then, of course, the bounce from the heavens that now we have found out that Gene caused, right, for that bounce to fall into the hoop. All right. The miracles that had to take place. This is different than the Knicks coming back. How did the Knicks come back against the Celtics? By doing what they always do, Big Body Brunson, right? He's had 40 before. He's had 40 since. Aaron Neesmith has never done that before, right? I know Halliburton has hit some clutch shots, but that bounce, I am not at all worried. I think the Knicks, all they need to do is just land the plane. Because for 40 Sorry, I can't even do math. For 50, how long is the NBA game right now? 4 touchdowns. Okay, for 46 minutes. Sorry, 46 minutes. They've been playing fantastic basketball. Okay, and they just kind of they were like me. They were like James Wudi. They was just rocking. We chilling. And when it was time to level back up, they didn't have enough juice.
Go ahead, Gene.
All right, so I want to start off by saying this. I'm very under the weather. I have a head cold, sniffling, coughing. I do have some TMJ issues, so my jaw is bothering me, my head is bothering me, my neck is bothering me. Having said that, it has nothing to do with the Knicks.
The preface is outrageous.
I do want to introduce my friends because you know what? The overtime never should have happened. We never should have. All right, I get it. We gave a big lead, but we never should have given up the lead because that last play, that last shot, should have never have counted. And I say that because I say that there was a double dribble, and I want to deliver Exhibit A. All right, there's no reason to watch any more of that trash. But we saw the double dribble, correct? Caleb,
Hold on.
It's just a yes or no question. Wait, just a yes or no question.
For the listeners and for the watchers, just know that the three of us, so Wudi, Caleb, and myself, had no idea Gene was going to play that clip. So we're always like, oh, phenomenal.
I don't need anything else. Just yes or no, Caleb. Did you see the double dribble?
Absolutely.
Okay. Wudi, did you see the double dribble?
Yes.
Nigel, did you see the double dribble?
Indeed, I saw a double dribble.
Okay, so we all know there was a double dribble there. That shot should not have counted. And for any of these haters coming out of the woodwork saying, oh, well, he was fouled anyway by Bridges. Well, then either way, that shot would have came up. He would have had to go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. And that I would have accepted more than that garbage shot that he took at the end with his little choke sign.
Do you realize that right now you're complaining about the refs when you wrote a eulogy about the Celtics complaining about the refs?
Yeah, but
that's what I was wondering. Yeah. I was there.
There's a difference. We were actually screwed by the refs.
I'm not. Did the refs hit those threes? The refs scored 15 points.
I mean, they gave him that last shot, and that's all that matters to me right now. And that's all.
Human error. The ref didn't see it.
The ref's an idiot.
Hey man, listen. If there's one thing that the refs have been consistent at, it's missing things.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
I'm gonna tell you that.
If it was back and forth the whole game, you know, 2 point, and that happens, I'm up and up. Bro, we were up 15 points with 2 minutes left. What are you talking about?
Yes.
Talking about the refs. That's come on now.
Wudi's right, and let me tell you, you know what that does to you mentally when you know it don't matter.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why
they can come back.
I was watching this game, and we talked about it pre-show. I was watching this game thinking, okay, I would love for the Knicks to bring the Pacers down to their style of play, their pace of play. And instead, they got brought up to the style of play and the pace of play of the Indiana Pacers. And that's my problem is the Knicks aren't built for that. They couldn't keep up. You saw it by like midway through the second quarter, they were already tired. There was times I would watch Brunson dribble up court in the fourth quarter, and he just was dribbling. And I was like, this doesn't look like the Brunson I know because he's very sloppy right now with his dribbling. Like, I feel like somebody could just come right up and just take the ball from him. And you know, so that is what lost them the game. I don't think it was not having enough heart. They wouldn't have been able to pull off what they pulled off in Boston a week ago if it was about not having the heart and about not having that clutch thing that needed to have.
Completely different game. What are you talking about? Like
what are you talking about? There's a style of play that they play, and it's either they have heart or they don't. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it was the fact that they just couldn't keep up with the Pacers, and by the end of that game, they were dog tired and they just couldn't hold on to the lead. I don't think it had anything to do with the Knicks not being able to be as clutch as they were the week before. You either are a team with heart and can do those things, or you're not. And I think they are. I just think that they were burnt out by the end of that game.
I'm gonna have to very strongly, but also respectfully disagree because
you don't think they were tired at the end of that game?
At the end of overtime, yes. But
You don't think they were tired in the third quarter?
No.
And they were
What are you talking about? They was
You
dominating.
didn't see them dribbling and you didn't see them bent over, huffing and puffing?
Do you know what I saw? Let me tell you what I saw. I saw Jalen Brunson sit out for an extended period of time, and they go on a 12-0 run led by OG Anunoby. They were chilling. They had long stretches of cat.
Until that fourth quarter, they look dog tired. They look paced out.
You might need a new prescription because I'm telling you, Brunson was out, and they went on their biggest run of the game. They were chilling with their rotations.
So why did they lose the game?
I just told you why they lost the game. Are you serious? You want me to sing the lullaby again?
Why did they lose the game?
Because they thought the game was in the bag. They thought the game was in the bag.
Okay. Is that what happened with the Celtics? Or did they come back with the Celtics? Did the Celtics lose the game?
The Celtics are gone. We're talking about the Knicks. Stop.
No, I'm talking about the Knicks. I'm trying to equate the two. It's the same scenario in both.
Listen, you know why
it's the same scenario in both. The Celtics gave up the lead. Did the Celtics lose that game? Did the Knicks win that game? Because all I heard for the last week and a half is that the Knicks won those games, and now you're telling me the Knicks lost this game.
Okay, Gene. So here's, I think to kind of summarize, or to maybe, I feel like personally, because I'm not going to speak for everybody, but what happened here is I think it's a lot of what Wudi said. In fact, that the Knicks felt very confident. They felt like they had this game in the bag, and they just could not apply the pressure and keep putting the pressure on. It's happened throughout the playoffs, man, and across the board in all sports. I'm going to transition to hockey, which we don't talk about a lot. I'm not a huge Leafs fan. I am a homer when they are doing that well. I'm on board. I got
Panthers whoop that ass
100%. But it's that same thing. They're up 2-0. They're up 2-0. They're playing against the reigning defending Stanley Cup champions. It looks like this should be in the bag. And what happens? They lose like 3 straight, win another one, go to 7. And then they have nothing because they didn't strike first. Same thing with the Knicks here. Struck first. They were, to Woody's point, they were going the whole yard. But something happened because listen, guys, I'm getting back into my art. I went to an art class, did some life drawing, had a really good time. I'm doing other creative things I used to do when I was in college, university. And I come home, 5 minutes left in the game. Knicks got this in the bag. But you can see it. All you need to watch is the last 5 minutes. Everybody says this. Everybody complains about basketball for this very reason. You only need to watch the last 3 minutes of the game. Everybody says you only need to watch the last 3 minutes of the game. This case, maybe, because you could watch the whole thing slide away. You could watch the Knicks fumble around and not really sure of themselves, and the Pacers just kept running their plays and kept going. Knicks didn't see red, man. They just didn't see red, and I think that's what happened. That's what happened with Boston. But Boston, I will talk about this real quick, and then we're going to walk away with it because I walk away from it. But Boston just got punched in the mouth so hard that they were dizzy for 3 games in a row. They didn't know what happened. That's what happened to Boston. Boston went in there so confident. They're like, yeah, man, we got this. Pop. Little Chris Tucker, which one of y'all kicked me? That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, man. And then they just never recovered. Right? Yeah. I hear you, but I think this is the Knicks series to lose now.
Listen,
maybe it's the opposite.
I agree with Wudi. They thought the game was over. They got the biggest. I tell you, I don't care. I was telling Wudi and Gene before we jumped on. That whole Cat thing, Cat playing up to the refs, everything is a
oh yeah.
Then his ass going around looking to the crowd. He want to play up to the crowd. Best shooting big man, all out this. Then when they need your ass to make a shot, what you do? Barely touch the rim. Barely, right? 33 points. Should have been 36. He couldn't do it, right? So all that to me, I agree with you, Nigel. None of that matters. The first 41 minutes don't matter. It's the last 5. And if your ass ain't making them, because like Naismith, right? He didn't make nothing. Gene and Wudi was screaming to the heavens about how he ain't do nothing. But when them last 5 minutes come, all of a sudden he hits 5 threes. And both of the Knicks stars didn't. And I'm gonna give a Big Body Brunson a pass because I love that dude. He's ridiculous. Without him, they don't have a team. So whatever. But that other dude, it's not I don't like him. He's just goofy to me, and he plays up too much. It's very feminine to me. It's very feminine. You know what I'm saying? It's like man up and play ball. He didn't. So All I'm gonna say is, yeah, I see that. I see that. I see that. Oh, that's my boy Certified. Hey, Rob, apologies. I know I ain't seen you since the last time we were talking about Boston and Tatum. Apologies. I feel bad for you. I know your boy popped his Achilles. We don't want to see that tragedy. But anyway, I digress. But back to it. It's like you the last 5 is everything. And the Pacers showed up. And now the Knicks know and the Pacers know that it don't matter. They can get them at any time. Right? So that changes your mentality. Do I think the Knicks can do it? Absolutely. They just gotta get it. They gotta lock it in and not let up at all because that team ain't going nowhere. So I'm expecting the Knicks to win tonight. What's up, boy? I'm expecting the Knicks to win tonight, though. I'm definitely saying that. If they don't, I do disagree with Wudi. I think it's a major problem. Mm-hmm. I think it's a major problem because they'll stop believing in themselves. I don't care about how they did on the road. They knew they were going to beat Detroit. They were like, Boston was how Gene thinks of them. They were like, we getting them. So they were, right? So it didn't matter. They were up by 20. They came back and beat them. They think they're going to beat the Pacers. They think the Pacers, right? That's why they was doing all this and all that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm telling you, it changes it up. So I'm expecting to see it. Oh, I agree, Rob. I honestly agree with that. If they go down 2-0, I think the Pacers win this series. I think it is. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I just want to say this. We had comebacks from the Knicks against Boston, and we had comebacks from the Pacers against the Knicks. You can't have it both ways. You can't say the Knicks won those games and then they lost this game.
I didn't say that.
I'm not saying you said it. I'm just saying in general. Let me just put it out there. Whoever wants to be on that other side of it can be on the other side of it. You can't have it both ways. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
that's
you can.
I do have a riddle. I do have a riddle for all my Celtic fans out there. I have a riddle. Can I give this riddle out there?
Yeah.
And then we can move on to these other topics. What's green and has 4 wheels?
Oh, good.
What's green and has 4 wheels?
What?
Jason Tatum.
Ooh. Aha! Aha! Oh, what do you know from funny, you bastards? That's it.
What a great way to move on and say thank you so much for tuning in to This Is The Pop Off. You're with Caleeb, Wudi, Gene, and myself, Nigel. I'll be leading and navigating this wild ride that we are on.
Oh.
Talked about the Knicks, talked about the Celtics. If you are on the YouTubes, please jump into the chat. We got a whole bunch of conversations going on there, which helps us and motivates us to even talk and inspires us to chat even more and go a little deeper. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that share button. Doesn't matter. You know what? Let everybody know. You guys know how it goes. Do the thing, because we're doing the thing. We're having a great time. There's about 60 plus of you guys, 65 in the room. Hey, man, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Now, let's move over. I'm just going to do this right now and get it out the way because we're talking about the OKC Thunder. First and foremost, shout out to my guy, SGA, MVP of the league. That makes it 7 in a row that have not been American, and the NBA and America is up in arms about it. That is a whole other discussion as well.
He's Canadian.
I know.
We're acting like he's from Iran or something. Like he's from Japan. Like he's from Canada.
I know.
He got braids.
Donald Trump heard that he won the award and said that's a fake award. So I don't know.
He is a brother. Like,
I know, man.
Stop it. He got diamond studs, wear 3 chains, braids to the back. Stop. He is not foreign. He's Canadian, and he can ball. One thing I like about SGA. He's smooth in a listen.
Yeah, right.
He's smooth. Right. It's like he really. It's like he should just wear black leather all the time.
Yeah,
right. Like it's just the way that he plays. It's so smooth. Like the way his game is, it's crazy. He does, and him and Brunson, they are the flop. Drawing foul kings. I'm telling you, they know how to draw contact and make it look like you broke his neck. Did you see what he did last night when he hooked my man and my boy pushed him down? He was like, yo. No, see, Johnny, I hear you. He don't suck. That's the problem. Everybody think SGA is soft and he's sorry. And then he busts you for 35 consistently. Mm-hmm. And when they need the baskets, he's making them. See, that's what I'm saying with Embiid out SGA. Hey man, Embiid need a hip replacement.
Yeah.
But anyway, SGA, listen, he deserves it. He won it. It's interesting. I don't really get into all this foreign stuff because the world is so small with social media now and everything. Like it's not who cares if they were born in another country? So what? You know what I mean? Like they're balling, they deserve it. SGA, I don't see as a foreigner. I don't care. Anybody from Canada is not a foreigner to me. It's way too close. No, I spent so much time in Toronto, man. Stop it.
I know, dude. We hung out last time you were up here.
Yeah, that's right. Like, stop. They're not foreign. I've been to Japan. That's foreign.
That's foreign. Yeah, that's foreign. Okay? I've been to Japan too.
I've been to Beijing, China. That's foreign.
That's foreign. Yeah.
I've been to St. Petersburg, Russia. I've been to Moscow, Russia. Foreign.
Not for me.
Okay? Like it's those are like countries where you don't know you can't read a sign, you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Huh? So Caleb, game online. Oh, so I'm gonna give you this. I'm going with Big Body Brunson because he got a thing in here. He got that thing. I'm telling you, he just does. He's carrying that damn load. You know why? You know why he failed in the game? Why he couldn't hit? Because he got a big ass cat on his back the whole time over here trying to play, flopping and thinking he the best shooter and bricking. So just sick of that. It's like the LeBron thing. Everybody all good right up until they need you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna quote one of my favorite movies, Top Gun. My boy Jester came up to Maverick. He said that was some of the best flying yet. Right up to the point where you got killed. Right? It's like, don't nobody care. That's what it be. So anyway, but shout out to SGA. He's definitely balling. I hate that he's killing my boy Ant-Man. He's kind of, but it is what it is.
So with that being said, let me just go to Nigel Cap Corner. I'm going to do it real quick. Woo! And this is the cap I was talking about. I was hoping it was going to show up on time. And not only did it show up on time, but OKC is up 2-0. And you can't really see, but this angle, like, look at how thick that is. Look at that. You know what I mean? Two colors of yellow on there. And you got, look at this logo up in here. Whoop, my bad, guys. Look at this. Just going for the yellow. I'm like, I'm into it. Then you got the good old Jerry West right there. You got the NBA logo, but it's got 3 colors in it. You got the yellow, the gray, and the black. Okay, and then you got the tone-on-tone New Era flag, gray under with the black guts. This is aggressive, and I'm about it. I've been waiting to get an OKC hat for a long time, so shout out to the Canadian company that hooked me up. Of course, I paid for it. I'm proud of them anyway. All right. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this Western Conference final. Man, the Thunder have now gone 2-0. How are they looking? Gene, we'll start with you. What do the Timberwolves have to do now that they're going to Minnesota?
I don't think there's anything they can do. Pay the ref?
Yeah.
This series was done before it started, man. I don't think there's anybody. I think there's just as many people that basically were against the Wolves as it was Knicks against Celtics. Like, did anybody really think the Wolves had a shot? Honestly,
a lot of people did.
I didn't think so at all. A lot of people did. Who's a lot? Because a lot would mean more than half. Was more than half took the Timberwolves?
I truthfully believe, like, a lot of people were saying, like, oh, Knicks T-Wolves, like, finals. I think people wanted to see it because of the trade. I don't think there was any chance of that happening. OKC is the supreme team in the league. They would have beat anyone that came out of the. They'll beat anyone that comes out of the East. Knicks, Pacers, if it would have been the Celtics, a healthy Celtics, they're beating anybody that comes out of the East. They're going to run roughshod over the Wolves. I think maybe this is a gentleman's sweep, if that. To me, this is a question I don't think you can answer because I don't think there is an answer. There's really nothing the Timberwolves can do, other than pay the refs, like I said, or maybe what was the old movie with when the Boston Celtics played the Utah Jazz with Damon Wayans when they kidnapped Damon Wayans? Was it Luck of the Irish or something like that, or Celtic Pride? Celtic Pride.
Right.
Maybe that's the only shot they have is someone kidnapping SGA because they are not. I don't think Ant-Man, and I know people are going to hate me for this and they're going to disagree with me with this. I don't think Ant-Man is it. I think he's a great player. I don't think he's the future face of the league. And we've talked about this. I actually, when I was on with Abby on Sports Rants on Wednesday, I said it then too. I don't think he's the face of the league. I think if anyone should be the face of the league, it's got to be SGA. He's good looking kid, nice kid, MVP, fantastic player on the court. I just think this is a team that totally outclasses Minnesota, and I don't think there is anything that Minnesota can do. I don't even think. I think if it goes 5, that went too long.
Wudi, you're a resident stats guy. I'm going to throw this at you, and I didn't even prep you, so but I know you can handle it. When we're talking about the OKC Thunder, man, we're talking about an offensive juggernaut for one, because they're crushing, but we're also talking about their defensive prowess. Specifically, I want to talk about your boy Alex Caruso. Now, he's been doing some damage in all the series they've done played. Wudi, give us some insight, or what is your insight on the Thunder and what they're going to do to either change when they get to Minnesota to keep this ball rolling, or what are they going to do to adjust to make sure that Ant gets fewer points than he's already gotten?
I think OKC, like those players that are not SGA, they still don't get no respect. Like we have been talking about OKC this whole time. And Alex Caruso, you saying Alex Caruso is the first time we've mentioned someone who's not
true
SGA. But they got a lot of players. You know, you talk about, all the love that like Derek White gets. But Alex Caruso, to me, right, he's like white Derek White. You know what I'm saying? He can shoot, he can defend. He was giving Nikola Jokic fits, as a defender. What they can do is incredible. My guy, former Knick, Isaiah Hartenstein, also gives them the ability to, if they need to go big, they can go big. If they need to go small and have Caruso down there with Chet, my guy, 89 pounds of fury, then they can do that. Like what they're able to do is fantastic, and not enough credit. I know we probably will talk about it. I don't know, but the most underrated player in the whole playoffs to me is Jalen Williams. This guy averages 25 and 5, and we act like SGA don't got no Batman, ain't got no Robin. We act like it's just SGA and these boys. 25 and 5. I mean, that was enough to make Julius Randle a Knicks legend, just 3 years ago, right? Like, that's what he's able to do. And when SGA is not shooting well, there have been a couple times this playoffs where SGA, he's starting out like 2 for 11. He still got 14 points because he shot 12 free throws. But, he'll be, struggling from the field. And who's on there on the court running the offense? Jalen Williams getting buckets. He can get them inside. He can get them outside. And most importantly, he can get them from other. Yeah. So it's amazing what he can do on offense. And then on defense, he can guard 2 through 4. How you got so many guys that can guard 2 through? Lou Dort, he's locking up anybody.
First team all defense.
Yep.
Like it's crazy how they have like 4 or 5 guys who can play all 5 positions offensively and defensively. They're fantastic.
1000%. I agree with you, and I think all that's true. I've been reading these comments. Certified, I can't believe you just said what you just said. You talking about Ant-Man is. Let me tell you something.
I agree with him.
Your point. You're just a hater. Anybody who's fly, anybody who has it, Gene hates it. He's like,
Wilson has it, and I love him.
I seen the moonwalk way before Michael did it. Mike,
I was doing it way before Michael did it.
He'd be like, Mike Carpenter used to stick his tongue out way before Jordan did. It's ridiculous. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, Ant-Man. I understand it. It's because Ant-Man gets credit for his personality, right? That is an elevated thing. Personality goes a long way. It's what Tatum, who certified loves, doesn't have. He doesn't have personality. He's just the pretty boy. That's it. He don't have that thing. If he did, it wouldn't even be no question who would be the face of it.
Can I push back for a minute? Because
I got
Jordan wasn't this boisterous, flamboyant guy.
No, he just won all the time. Winning is different, and he was clearly the best in the league. Like, there wasn't even a conversation that anybody. You know how you could say, "Well, LeBron, KD, right?" They weren't even having that conversation. They were like, "It's Mike." But We do like Charles. We do like Clyde, right?
There was a point where they tried to make Iverson the face of the league after Jordan, if you remember correctly. I don't know if we're
he
all
was
old
for the
enough,
brothers.
but I know me and you are.
He was for the brothers. It was so bad. They was like, we got to make him. He got to wear suits. He can't come in here with the big chains and the sagging and the big. Like, remember all that? Like the braids. He was the first one with tatted up. They were like, man, cover that. He changed.
I remember that.
Seriously. Like Starks dunked on Jordan. He did. But did you see when Jordan dunked on Ewing? Did you see when
we don't talk about
Starks? We don't even want to go there with Jordan because you know what Jordan did.
Chill, please.
But
Jordan,
real quick, back to the Ant-Man thing. It's because of his personality and he has balled in certain situations. But I agree, he hasn't reached that level yet because SGA is showing that there's levels to it, right? Like Ant-Man needs to show up and he hasn't. And that does hurt him. So I agree. You know what I mean? Like in that way. But I love Ant-Man. I think he's special because and it's not just his basketball ability. Like he has it. You know what I mean? Like there's a star quality that he has that even Brunson don't have it. Brunson is more introverted, right?
If Brunson, I agree though with what Johnny Boy said. If Brunson wins a championship, if they go on a championship run and he gets 2 championships in a 5-year span, he's going to be the face of the league.
Multiple championships does something. It's what happened to LeBron with Steph. It's why Steph is considered, some people consider Steph the best of the generation and not LeBron, right? Because Steph is smaller. He changed the entire face of the league, like the style of play.
He changed the game.
Where three-pointers are now a big, right? Like Steph Curry did that. LeBron didn't. And they have the same amount of chips in less time for Curry. Right. Yep. So people, there's a debate there, right? But Steph Curry can call that because there are multiple championships. Iverson never won, right? Like when so I think if Brunson does win and if he gets 2, oh my God, forget about it. He'll absolutely be up there on that pedestal. But I do think for Ant-Man, this series is exposing it a little bit to where the hype might be a little premature. That's what I'll say.
If I can weigh in, I just want to weigh in on
Go ahead.
I think he's a fantastic player. I think why he is not, the face right now is consistency. Like he's not a consistent. Like there are some games.
LeBron is not the best, Sierra. Sorry.
Sierra's back in the house.
Hitting 7 threes, right? Dunking on anybody, everybody, and their mama, right? And he looks unguardable. Like he has that potential, and we've seen it a lot of times, but we're not seeing it every time.
Exactly.
There are also games where he's 3 for 15, and it's bad, and he's relying on his shot and still shooting himself out the game. 0 for 9. We have never seen SGA do that. Like, even when I said, like, SGA is struggling, he still has, his 20 points because he's going to the line. You can say foul baiting, all that type of stuff. But SGA is going to get his. Brunson's getting his. The best player. Jokic gets his. That's what the best players do. They get theirs. But there are times where he be thinking he Kyle Korver or whatever happens.
Yeah.
He just relies on the 3. So he's
you're right. And that's Steph Curry's fault. Everybody wants the long ball. But first of all, so Sierra, LeBron is not the best. I saw what you just said. Certified Curry better than LeBron is asinine. And I not even close to Bron. You crazy. Right?
Like that's an age thing, though.
I think I know it is an age thing. I'm a little older, so maybe that's it. But no. Of course, Jordan played when basketball was actually a real sport where you had to play a thing called defense. It's like different. But so it's like comparing this flag football thing they're gonna do in the Olympics to the real NFL.
Exactly.
Right.
Could you imagine if Jordan played today? He'd average 45 points a game.
Come on, it's not because you couldn't touch him.
You couldn't touch because it wasn't like let's face it, Jordan wasn't a big guy.
He was 6'6", 185.
But you know what I mean? But he wasn't, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't built like LeBron, where LeBron could just muscle his way.
No.
He was getting hit. He was getting bumped. He was getting,
it was
around.
different. But I gotta run, guys, because I gotta go. But I'm just saying, I do understand with the Curry thing, and I do think LeBron is better than Curry certified. I'm not going to say that, but what I mean is people argue about
There's an argument
in this generation because of Curry being 6'3", 185, and revolutionizing the game with 3-pointers to where he could compete with somebody as physically dominant as LeBron. That's what I'm saying. That never happened in Jordan's era. Bye.
wait, real quick. Question for him.
I'm glad I came back just for that, like that little second. I also want to say, just before I forget, it's so interesting having this debate talking about like generational ballers.
Yeah.
Because when you think about, and I never thought about this until this very moment when Caleb was making some points. When you look at Allen Iverson, I never think about, but damn, Iverson never won a championship, man. I honestly never think that. What I think of immediately is either practice or how he just changed the landscape of what a basketball player, an NBA player can look like at that level. Physically, with his cornrows, with his tats, and the way he came in with swagger. That to me is so much it's not, I'm not trying to say it's better than winning the Larry O.B., but for me, it has some kind of cachet, though, where you garner this respect that just, we didn't know what was coming. We had no idea. We saw it happening right in front of our eyes. And then it just changed the landscape of the look, of the style of ball. And it forever has changed it. And he's been that legacy. And it's so interesting to look at that. And then you look at Jordan, you're like, oh, yeah, we're talking about championships. We're talking about how you can take over a team, just other aspects of it. And I just find that so fascinating now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm like, we've seen a lot of ball in between the three of us, between the four of us. You know, some of these young kids, all they know is LeBron. It's like, he ain't it, yo. He ain't it. Also, listen, Sierra, good to have you back. Good to immediately firing up our boy.
I miss Sierra. Sierra is one of my favorites because I disagree with her like on every take.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 99.9% of the time you disagree with her on every take.
You disagree about D-Rose?
No, I actually kind of can see. Well, it's one of the things we'll never know, right? Like we'll never know. But
that was so sad, man.
Yeah, it one of the most. I wouldn't say wasted talent. It's not like he wasted it, but
no.
But just wasted talent in the sense that he didn't really get to fully, get to do what he was meant to do on this earth.
Devastating.
I'll tell you one thing that I think is funny is me and Wudi have a lot of the same sports franchises that we root for. Yet we disagree literally just about as me and Sierra. Is it true or false?
No, true, man.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
We literally disagree on everything.
It's kind of my favorite.
Every Nick take it seems.
It's kind of my favorite. The only thing left for me
It's one of the reasons why I love having Wudi on the show is because I know, you always never want to do a show with a bunch of guys that have the same teams they root for. For me, Wudi doesn't matter because we literally have nothing we agree on. That's exactly. It's my favorite part of Wudi being on the pop is because even though we have the same teams, it's never like Wudi says something, I'm like, yeah, I agree, or I say something, Woody's like, yeah, I agree. It's like a big event when one of us agrees. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's actually the main reason why I love Wudi being on the show. So I don't know if that sounds like a compliment, but it's 100% a compliment.
Yeah.
No, that definitely sounded like one.
Yeah.
I want to make sure it came off.
Listen, all I have to say is that I cannot wait.
Johnny boy, I know this is gonna.
No, he's literally trolling.
He's trolling you right now, right?
Yeah.
We have no NFL news that we're going to deal with today, and that's not going to be one of them to start. And I was going to say the only thing left on my bucket list now is to go to either a Jets or Knicks game with both of you, and having one of you on either side of me, just so I can feel what that's like to have both of you guys just like going off about it. Shout out to the 75 people in the building. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here on the Pop Off. We have a couple more topics we want to talk about. Man, there's been a ton of goings on in the sports world right now. We were dipping into the NBA playoffs. OKC, their absolute throttling of the Timberwolves so far, and the pressure that's been put on the New York Knickerbockers because the Indiana Pacers are knocking at the door. So let's keep it moving right now, and thank you guys for just jumping into the chat. If you're on another platform, we love it. We appreciate it. But come on over to YouTube, man, because that way you can throw in your comments. They're coming in fast and furious, so we are trying to, if we don't highlight it, we're trying to talk about it. Yes, Johnny Boy, that is one 100%. Of the most pertinent things that you've said, which RIP Jim Irsay. Very sad.
Gone too quickly. Only 65 years old, which is like middle age these days.
Yeah. It's who knows? There's never a good age. There's never a good
No,
age.
you know what I'm saying, but like
I do. I know. I don't mean
ahead.
that sarcastically. I'm just saying it's always tough. It's always like, that one hurts and that one hurts.
It felt sarcastic.
I did just like your compliment.
It didn't sound it to me.
Okay, we have a couple things that we're going to talk about here, and I want to get a little bit more specific. And let's talk about we've dabbled in everything, so I don't know how more specific we can make this kind of stuff. But can we talk about the best remaining point guard in the conference finals? Because you gotta have leadership on the court, and we know that. And if you're not leading by scoring, you're leading by example. Who is the best remaining point guard in the conference finals? Anybody can have at it.
I was really thinking that Caleb was gonna say Halle Berry, so I was so excited. So excited to take the biggest dookie on that take, just completely just shit on Halle Berry, Galliburton, the Halliburton. Yeah, he's not. So I'm gonna go with my real answer, which was going to be Jalen Brunson, until I realized, I think SJ is a point guard. And I went to the ESPN depth chart to confirm that, it's SGA. He's a fantastic player. Brunson is also a fantastic player. I think a lot of their strengths are actually the exact same. It's footwork. It's finishing through contact. The mid-range game, they play an old-school style. You want to talk about age, right? And for people like us who grew up watching the players that we, watched growing up, watching SGA and Brunson play, it's just like aesthetically like, you reach out. Yeah, it's just such an exciting play instead of watching, someone like James Harden do 6 setback, like something that was clearly a travel in 1997. Now they allow, right? And that's how a lot of players play today. Trae Young, jacking up threes, all this type of stuff. SGA and Brunson play a more traditional style. It's all predicated on footwork, toughness. The only reason why I'm giving SGA the nod over Brunson, and call it prejudice, whatever, is size. He can do more because he is bigger. He can get more rebounds. He has the length to have more different angles when he passes. He on defense, has the length to guard a lot of talented players. I mean, just he's larger, so he can do more things.
Gene,
this is an easy answer and a tough answer all at the same time, right? Because you say, well, SGA, right? But then you think, well, wait, but Brunson can do certain things that SGA can't do, right? Like if you're talking about who has the biggest heart as point guard right now in the league, right, that's left. It's got to be Brunson, right? And that's not to take away from SGA because SGA is, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is a phenomenal talent. I don't know if he's quite as clutch as Brunson. Brunson, he obviously won the clutch award this year. There's things that he just does when the tent turns up. And I know that I forget who asked it. Was it Johnny Boy? Somebody asked it earlier in the stream or in the pod that who would you rather have take that final shot? Would it be SGA or Brunson? And to be honest with you, it's not even about the final shot. Who do I want controlling the ball for the final possession? Because I trust either one of them to either take the shot or dish it to the right guy or make a play or make something happen, create a foul by driving to the lane. I think with that, I go a little bit more Brunson. I think Brunson's more of a floor general than SGA. Nowadays it's almost like, like you said, Wudi, you had to look it up. Like, is he a point guard? Because positions don't matter as much as they used to when we were kids. Right now, it's like, there's times where like you might have a guy undersized play center. Like if we all remember Magic in his rookie year playing center in the finals. It was so few and far between back then. If you were a point guard, you were a point guard. If you were shooting forward, you were shooting forward. Now it's like guys go from the point to the two and they're all over the place, right? But I think if it's that final possession, not even final shot, that final possession, the point guard I want controlling the court would be Jalen Brunson. And that doesn't take away from what SGA has done. I saw somebody put McConnell, I think it was Johnny Boy, TJ McConnell. I can't stand. You know why I can't stand him? Because he's one of these guys that's like, he's sneaky good. He's sneaky good. I don't think he can control. I don't think he'd ever be like a really good starter on a team. But for what his role is, oh, I'd love him on my team. He's the type of guy you hate when he's on the other team, but you love him when he's on your team. And that's not to say he's like a dirty player, because usually we save that phrase for a dirty player. He's just one of these guys that just, you don't even realize it until you look at the box score at the end of the day. And he's done a few things, and it's nothing crazy. But then when you look at the tape later on, you're like, that play happened because of TJ McConnell. Or TJ McConnell hustled on this play, and things that show up in the stat box. But I would go Brunson again. Call it a homer pick if you want. But I don't think many people could disagree the fact that he's got the biggest heart in the league, maybe the smallest body, but the biggest heart in the league. And when it comes down to not so much the final shot, but that final possession, he's the guy I want running the floor for me.
You make a really good point with that, the counter of who do I want to have taking the last shot, but who do I want to have, running the play? Who do I want to have like calling people out, making sure everybody's in the right spot so this play can get that almost guaranteed basket that we've run in practice a million times, and everybody's forgetting it now because the pressure is on and we're on the main stage, the grand stage, to win this game. Yeah, who is that person that's coming down across center and letting everybody know? Good one. Not bad, Gene. I'm impressed. You've come a long way since the eulogy. Great. Moving right on. Now we've gone from
FitzMagic. Book of FitzMagic 316 is what?
Okay.
Fuck Boston.
Yeah. All right. Now we've talked about the quote unquote smallest players on the team, because no longer are guards, just around, or point guards just around 6'1" or 6'2" max. Like now they're a lot taller, a lot faster, a lot leaner. Let's talk about the big man. Who's the best big man remaining? Let's go the opposite way. So Gene, and then we'll go Wudi. Who's the best big man? The biggest, best man, big man.
Man, I really want to say Rudy Gobert.
Remember him?
His biggest move was spreading COVID throughout the league.
Man.
So anyway, we all remember that, right?
Of course.
Face plant on I forget who we did.
That was the most embarrassing thing.
It was like, way to make the league look great. Anyway, this is a tough one, because I think it again comes down to the Pacers, but I'm gonna throw a wild card in the mix. And he wouldn't be the best, but I think he's sneaky dangerous. But let me say who with between Cat and Miles Turner. I think it might be Miles Turner. I think, Cat's going to hit those dagger threes, right? Like, we know that. But there's times he's going to be cold. There's something about Miles Turner that I trust, because, and again, he's another guy. I just can't stand him because I feel like he hurts my team when I need him to not hurt my team, right? There's something I love about Miles Turner. I feel like he's been on the trading block forever in Indiana. I feel like people talked about trading for him for the last ever many years he's been in the league. I feel like the Knicks almost traded for him X amount of times. I remember seeing all these rumors how the Knicks were for years and years and years and years and years. Yeah, he's been in Indiana. He's got a home there, and he's an absolute weapon, because he could do a lot of good things there. He could do a lot. He can shoot the deep ball, though he's not been good in the postseason. But he can do everything. But here's a guy I'm going to say that maybe he's not the best, but let's also give some roses to Hartenstein. I really do believe if the Knicks had Hartenstein still, they'd be that much more dangerous, because you'd have that edge, that anchor in the front court. He is just a phenomenal player that just gets it done. You got to account for him because he's such a solid defensive player. He's what you want, as whether it be your backup center or just that guy that's going to be able to take up minutes and basically be the gritty guy, the edgy gritty guy on your team, an anchor on your team. So I do want to give him some shout out, but I would probably say Miles Turner over Cat.
I think I've reached my limit of Cat disrespect. It's just ridiculous. I love
Cat. I love Cat. It's not a disrespect. There's something about Miles Turner that I just respect. That's all.
This whole, like Caleb was coming at my man. For 35 and 12 coming out my man, and I was waiting for this moment. I was waiting for the segment. I didn't know that we only had, I didn't know how the layout of this episode was going to be. But I was just quietly waiting. I had two big dookies, one for the Alabama, and two to show my guy Cat. I got his jersey coming in the mail. Like I think it's supposed to come on tomorrow, Saturday. All right, like this is my guy. All right, and he is. So I really don't understand how he's getting like 35 and 12. I don't think Miles Turner has had that in any game this season. And I'm not saying that Miles is bad because he's actually, like Gene said, he's immensely talented. But the reason why he's been on the trade block his whole career is because he never puts it all together. He's a tremendous shot blocker. He's a great shooter, mid-range, three-point, right? He can post up, which is a lost art in this league. But he can't do it in one game. Like he can't do all of those things. You have one game of great defense, one game of 3-point. He cannot put it all together. Cat on offense is almost a Swiss Army knife. He is. I don't want to speak in hyperbole, but he's almost one of a kind in what he can do because he can post up. He has fantastic touch from 5 feet all the way to 30 feet out. That is a rarity. There are a lot of guys who, they're big men who can shoot, right? Embiid shoots threes, Jokic. There's so many guys who shoot threes right now. What Cat can do when he's at the top of the key, he can shoot the three or drive in either direction and get a bucket. That is not something that people do because once, if you get caught, and you have to put it up at 10 feet, that's an automatic brick for most big men because you need to have a set shot, right? They are set shooting. Every center that can shoot, they're just about set shooters. Cat can turn around fade. He can pick up his dribble and finish. What he can do to score baskets is there's no Hartenstein. The fact that we gave Hartenstein where Cat is clearly the best, and I thought that with that trade, with the Knicks getting in, I was like, we took a hit rebounding, man. I think Julius Randle is a really good rebounder. Cat nearly led the league in rebounds this year. The postseason right now, he is leading in rebounds. Cat, there's not much more you can add. Obviously defense, right? We would love to see him be, Mitchell Robinson. But we had Mitchell Robinson, so that's great. So we don't need 3 blocks a game from him. What we need him to do, actually, is stop switching on screens because that's probably one of the biggest liabilities on Knicks defense right now. And they know it. They know he wants to switch. And OG, Mikal, everybody's like, please, come on, like just fight over that screen. But he doesn't do it, and then we get Tatum or whoever making shots. But other than that, the key to me is it's not even close. Like, yeah, you can say Brunson, you can say SGA, they're 1A, 1B, Taliban somewhere down there. But for this, come on now. It's not it's become disrespectful how badly. And it's honestly, you know what it is? You guys know why? It's why? Because of N1. After all that, come on. NYC, baby, and it's mad funny. Like it's funny. I'm not it's funny to clown on my mans, but when the game is on, he's ready to play, and that's why he plays to the crowd because that's his energy, right? Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts, and he's an extrovert. He's out there, he's feeling it. He makes that deep three. He's out here. Come on now, come on, Cat. Best center by far.
Yeah, go ahead, Gene.
I don't totally disagree. I wouldn't say by far because I do think Miles Turner is someone that you got to account for, but I don't totally disagree. That's a hard take. Is the best center because I feel like they're pretty evenly where depending on what route you want to go. Same thing with SJ and Brunson. What route do you want to go? And like I said, if you want to throw Halliburton in the mix, I would think that's wrong, but I could understand someone's argument on Halliburton,
Well, here we are on the run out of our NBA talk. We've been chatting it up since 12:15 Eastern. Thank you so much for being here. I think 80 plus in the building. Appreciate y'all. Jump into the chat. Let us know what's up. But most importantly, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Do all those things that you do with all the other sports channels you're listening to or watching, or all the other podcasts you're subscribing to. Get after us, man. The Pop Off right here on the Pop Off Sports Network. Last but not least,
I'm so sorry. I'm never one to cut off. That's usually Gene style, but I have to pull a Gene because
I can't help it sometimes. I just get a voice like I just did it now.
Yeah, you did.
Well, you said, you could say Brunson, FGA. You cannot. I'm sorry, but Miles Turner has had 0 games this playoffs with over 23 points. 0 games with over 23 points, and has not had a single game with 10 rebounds. And this man is averaging a double-double, has had 30 plus multiple times. And you are telling me that they're on the same level. It is.
I didn't say they're on the same level. I said
it's arguable.
It's arguable. That's not the same level.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
I want to know who Rob would take.
Back here, and then we can talk about something that's close. But don't tell me about Miles Turner. Miles Timmy Turner. Miles, I don't even know.
Is Timmy his middle name?
And tell me that he is close to Karl Anthony Towns.
Wait, Timmy really his middle name?
Wudi 316 said.
That's how we do.
That's not a great 316. Is that the book of Wudi?
I'll read it. It's great. I love it. Hey, but let's talk about this. Love that pop off right there. Let's talk about this before we get out of this NBA chatter. Who is the best underrated or the most underrated player remaining in the playoffs? We've talked about the best remaining point guard. We've talked about the best remaining big man in the conference finals, but let's talk about the most underrated player remaining in the playoffs. Wudi, since you had such a boisterous comment there, you can keep it going and let us know, and then we'll go Gene, and then we'll talk something else after. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So I would say for the playoffs, it was my answer before Jalen Williams, but because I already, talked about that in 25 and 5, what he's doing offensively, defensively, I won't just rehash. I'll pick a underrated for the other series, and for that, I'm gonna go with Mitchell Robinson. I think Mitchell Robinson is somebody that Knicks fans, they wanted to trade him all season. They was like, oh, Cat leading the league in rebounds. All right, just trade Mitch. Try to get something back. They have not valued him at all. But everything that Gene said about what he would have liked to get from Hartenstein, right? Like what we missed from Hartenstein, Mitch has supplied. I think if Gene is still talking about Hartenstein, could be a race thing. I think he just wants a white guy. I think that's what it is. But Mitch, he has been an incredible defender, an incredible rebounder. My favorite thing about Mitch is that unlike Cat, he can switch. He can switch, and he's not out there on an island like Rudy Gobert. He's not getting cooked up by Jaylen Brown. And that's a superpower to be able to play positionless basketball and defense like that. And you have somebody crashing the boards on both sides of the floor. That gives Brunson the confidence to, you know what? Half an inch, let me just put it up because I know Mitch got me, right? Like what he's able to provide for these players is almost immeasurable. If this boy shot 70% from the free throw line, I think he would play all 48 minutes. But because he might be missing 70%, he has to take his breathers, he gets in foul trouble and all that type of stuff. But I think his value whenever he's on the field, I believe he actually also leads the team in plus minus. So that tells you all you need to know about his minutes on the floor.
Gene?
I just want to state for the record that literally like 20 seconds ago, Wudi called the court the field.
It's okay. Football's right around the corner. Just let him live.
I do want to say this. If anybody has been familiar with the Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart podcast, is it the Roommates podcast? Is that what it is?
Roommates, yeah.
They had Hartenstein on as a guest one time, and he said and I quote, well, not
Sure.
I quote,
Sure,
he said
I
he
know
is
what
black.
you're
I think his dad is black, right? Somebody in his family is black, and it makes at least him being black. Anyway, so maybe you have a problem with mixed people, Wudi. And we got Nigel wearing hats of old Toronto Maple Leaf guys that probably said anyway. So we all have our crosses to bear. We all have our issues.
I don't think I've worn that hat since. Continue.
I love it.
Very funny.
It's one of my favorite clips of the show.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Anyway, so I agree because I was one of the guys that did want him traded, not because I didn't like him, but always hurt and whatnot. And I think you can even agree that that's always been an issue. But he's been fantastic this postseason. I'll admit that. And I've seen some people put here, and they've actually that's been my answer. Is I think it's Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart is even underrated on his own team, let alone the league. I believe did he have a triple double like a couple games ago? Like he's got like
closeout game against the Celtics.
I was saying there was a triple double there. Like he does everything on the court that you want him to do, and I feel like I don't even remember anybody mentioning it. The only reason why I knew he had a triple double is because I looked it up. Unless I missed it, the only reason I knew he had a triple double is because I looked it up later on. I just happened to see the stat sheet that he had a triple double. I feel like, and maybe it's because he doesn't have the 60-20-20 games like Jokic. I don't know, but I feel like he's a guy that will put up triple doubles routinely and not really get the credit for it. And maybe it's because he's not scoring a ton of points when he does it, but he's getting them done. He's filling up the stat sheet. He's a guy that, if you remember last year, played a gazillion minutes. I think he led the league in minutes. Did he break a record for the league in league history for the most minutes in the postseason last year? Whatever it was, it was something.
So, but he definitely led the league in minutes played this year. He got a trophy for it.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're talking about an Iron Man and a guy that doesn't get quite the credit from the crowd and from the audience and from the fans, I really do think it's Josh Hart. And I think it really takes like someone to really recognize what he does on the court and not just look at the stat sheet, but just really recognize what he does on the court to realize. That's what I'm saying, Rob. Rob says he's the third best player on the team, and no one talks about him. I agree. And to say he's the third best player on your team, like the Knicks, that's not really a snipe because you got Jalen Brunson there, you got Cat there, who are all-stars. Josh Hart is just under that, and maybe on another team where there's no other stars where he could flourish even more, maybe he'd be an all-star. But I think even on his own team, he's underrated because I think you see Mikal Bridges get more press than him. I think you see OG get more press than him, and he has time in and time out been the third best player on the team. This sounds OG comes in and he takes over a game, right? Josh Hart might not necessarily do that up front, but he does it in a subtle way. And so my most underrated player in the postseason to me is Josh Hart. And I think he's even just underrated just in general throughout the season. But right now with these four teams, I think he's the most underrated player in the league.
Last year, he was under what he was doing last year. And I'm not saying he's worse this year. I'm saying he's doing the same. I feel like last year was when he put himself on the map. Like I feel like you ask any Knicks player like who's important. I think we all say Josh Hart. I feel like he's got a lot of notoriety. He's in commercials, with the Villanova boys. Like I feel like
But that's because of the Villanova boys. That's not because of Josh Hart. Fair?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I see him in a commercial solo dolo. So yeah, that's fine. But I feel like he does get a lot of love, respect. I feel like he is considered the heart of the team. Like if they were all talking about the minutes he was playing with with bruised ribs last year against the Pacers. I feel like he got his due. Like no one, I don't think anybody outside of New York even knows who Mitchell Robinson is. But I think Josh Hart got his national spotlight last year, and got a trophy this year. Like I feel like he, but yeah, obviously I would agree with everything you said. Like all he's immensely important. I just thought that people knew.
People outside of the city know who Mitchell Robinson is. I don't think that's.
You think so?
Well, Nigel from another country, some would say the 51st state. Have you ever? You know who Mitchell Robinson is?
We're not. Everything was great. Everything was great. And
I like you. Listen, I'm not saying me. I'm saying there's a lot of idiots out there that think that.
Yeah.
I am not one of those guys. I still say Gulf of Mexico.
Don't even want to hear it come out of your mouth one more time. Not even one more time. Not even one more time.
I'm a friend. I'm a Canadian. I'm an ally of Canada. I still say the Gulf of Mexico.
Moving on. we're going to jump into the MLB. As most of you know, that Major League Baseball is actually happening. They're probably about 40, 50 games deep right now. And there's a lot of action going on all of the times because baseball doesn't sleep. So let's talk about this one time, and then we're probably going to move on. How long of a leash should the fans give the Mr. Juan Soto of the New York Mets? Because things aren't really panning out the way that the assumptions were. Correct? Incorrect? Gene, you had an immediate reaction. Go ahead and pop off on this one.
Actually, I'd like to pass the ball to
Great,
my
Mr.
friend
Wudi.
Mr. Wudi, because he is a Mets fan. So I really want to know what he has to say about it.
Great.
All right. Sounds good. I'm not worried. I feel like, he signed a contract for how many years? And we 2 months in talking about, oh my gosh, is this a bust of a contract? I feel like baseball it's a long season. We played all those games, but we got more than double that amount to go. So I would say when we signed my guy Lindor, who's my personal favorite, man, I would be on the phone with my grandpa. The only reason why I'm a Mets fan is him, and I'll be on the phone with him, and he would be like, "Oh, gosh, we wasted $300 million on Lindor. Like he's not the guy that we paid for. He robbed the city. He robbed the city. It's crazy. My grandpa is from Grenada, and Caleb can do a better accent than me. But anyway, that's not here nor there. But that's what he's talking about, right? And now look at Lindor. Look at what this team has done. Last year, around this time, we had players literally in the locker room talking about, hey, this is the worst team in baseball. They said that in the building around this time. And what did they do? They were one game away from the World Series. I think this is a marathon, not a sprint. So we're talking about, Juan Soto, the contract, the legacy, all this type of stuff. That doesn't get defined in May. Not whatsoever. I got one more example of that because I actually just watched a documentary on Netflix of Brett Favre, right? And his first season as a Jet. Ooh-wee! 6-1, just about to win the Super Bowl. And
is that pre or post dick pic?
The documentary?
Yeah.
It just came out. It just came out like Tuesday.
Okay.
So
did they talk about the dick pic?
They show it actually. To be honest,
Gene, can you let him finish? Can you let him?
I'm sorry.
Make his point?
He said Brett Favre. That's the first thing my brain went to.
Oh, pause. But Brett Favre, right? So they thought, okay, 6-1, 5-1, we about to win the Super Bowl, and these boys didn't even make the playoffs. So we need to stop overreacting in May and let it play out.
Gene, you have the floor.
I do want to show this comment because I showed it before. How much you guys paying a year? $50 million a year, $765 over 15 years. Free suite, private jet. Who knows? Countless other things. I mean, he maybe even gave him a Shar-Pei dog. I don't even know. For the second most walked player in the league. Is that what you pay $50 million a year for? The second most walked player in the league? That's a question for you, Wudi. I'm sorry.
For me, no, that's definitely not. That's definitely not.
Okay. My problem is not with the fact that he only batting like 240 and that he isn't doing anything. But in the series that I feel like Met fans have said to the Yankees fans, they're looking at it as a World Series when we don't. We look at World Series as like World Series because we get to them. Your boy went 1 for 10 with 4 or 5 strikeouts. I think he had 3 or 4 walks. Great job getting on base, buddy. And then what happens is he goes to he goes to Boston, doesn't run out a ground ball. Probably wouldn't have made it anyway, but you got to run those things, right? Derek Jeter used to run to first base on a walk. And then he hits a long fly ball. He thinks it's out, but it doesn't go out. And instead of a double, he gets himself a single. You cannot have your star player, your face of the franchise, your $50 million a year man, the guy who gets more perks than anybody else on your team, not hustle the same way other players on your team hustle. And when approached about this, what did he say? I'm hustling. So now you double down on not hustling and lie to the New York fans, the New York media, and the New York fans, and say you are hustling. I find the New York fans to be one of a very smart and sophisticated fan base. We've had sports maybe longer than any other city in America. What?
What do you do?
I do.
That's crazy. All right.
I do.
Savages.
We can be when we're pushed. Johnny boy, I think we are. That's my opinion. No, it's fact. It's in verse. It's chapter 3, verse 17.
You don't even know your own book. You don't even know
your
your own book.
They are.
Barnes & Noble ain't selling that for sure.
Wow. Nigel, I expect better from you. You're the Canadian.
Yo, you should be proud that at least I knew your bookstores.
That's true. I don't even know if we have them anymore, to be honest with you.
We do.
They burnt half the books. They burnt half the books that we had in Florida. America. So who knows? Yeah, anywhere. So who knows what's still around? Listen, the leash is there. You're gonna give him a long leash because you financially have no other choice but to give him a long leash, right? What else are you gonna do? But there's gonna come a point, and he's starting to creep into that territory now. Because there are going to be people that are going to say, I didn't sign up for this. I'm sure James Wudi didn't sign up for this. He just said it. I didn't sign up for my $50 million man, the guy who's the face of my franchise, the guy that we give private jets to and suites to be the second most highest in walks. I know you're not saying that. So the leash is definitely shortening on the man because it has to. You can't not hustle and coach yourself to your first year in a place. Listen, I think I think he's going to get himself out of this funk. I think he will. I don't know if it'll happen this year. I think maybe by next year. I think it is. I think this year he's going to have a pretty rough year, but I think he's going to get out of it by next year. We know we can handle New York, so it's not that. But you can't then lie to the fan base and tell us that you hustle, that you are playing hard when you clearly are not. 2 games in a row. You clearly are not. And it's been multiple games, but there's just 2 instances that I'm talking about. You cannot, when you clearly aren't, there's receipts and there's videotape of it. So don't try to, what is the phrase that Caleeb loves to use? You can't put syrup on shit and call it pancakes, something like that. It's something like that. Don't give me that. You weren't hustling. Now, could you, we talked about this on Wednesday when I was with Abby. What we said is, could you imagine if he got up to the mic and said, you know what, you're right. I need to do better and I will do better. And I promise you going forward, I will hustle out. I'm just, you know what? I was a little down, blah, 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 whatever it would be. But I am going to be better and I will be better for you guys, for the fans, because that's what you deserve. He'd be king of New York all of a sudden. Like people would start cheering for him like crazy. He'd buy himself the rest of the season, maybe. But you can't sit there and you can't lie to their face and lie to their ears, lie to their eyes.
If he goes out there and says, I was down, I'll be back up, they're gonna climb him. The back of the New York Daily News.
If he said, you know what, you're right, and I will be better, and you deserve better, so I will be better, the press would eat that alive, and the fans would eat that alive.
Yeah, I don't know.
Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy, I love you, Johnny Boy, but you are well.
Definitely not the king of NY or the Mets. Like he's not even
the king of Queens.
Yeah, that's good.
That's Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple answers for the king of Queens. That was not one of them. But to Johnny Boy's point, like I don't know too many Mets fans that are like. I feel like we're being patient. The team is doing great. Like we've had the best record in baseball for most of the season. So like, to nitpick and be like, if we were the worst team, Soto acting a fool, yeah, people would be angry. But to have the team playing how we're playing, yes, Soto definitely seems to be going through things. It definitely seemed to get exponentially worse during and after the Subway Series, right? It seemed like, he was really, really affected mentally from Yankee Stadium. But again, this is a chapter. This is not the story. You want to talk about books, you fumbling for chapters. This is just a section in this book. And, we still got a whole lot more baseball to play this year. And we'll assess after the season, how we're feeling.
Love to hear. I'm feeling great. How are you guys feeling? Gene, how you feeling?
I'm a little, like I said, I'm down in the weather, or what is it? Under the weather. I'm sick. I got like a little head cold thing going. My sinuses are crazy. I have my TMJ bothering me, and it's a really bad version of it because it hurts all the way by my eye, all the way into my neck. If I go like this, it really hurts into my shoulder. So yeah, I'm not doing so good.
Okay, that's a lot. Wudi.
I don't know if that's the answer you wanted, but it's the answer I had.
Feeling great. Let's see how we feel at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. But feeling great right now.
Nice. Hey, and I hope everybody out there in the pop-off verse is feeling fine, feeling good, feeling healthy. Make sure you spread it to your loved ones because we have made it to the end. There's nothing else to talk about. That's a wrap from us. We had such a good time. I don't want to speak for those guys, but I'm going to speak for them anyway. We had such a great time. I'll speak for Caleeb because he's not here. And man, what a time. Thank you for everybody that jumped in on the chat and spurred on some more conversations that we had, spurred on some more topics that's led into bigger conversations that we had. We've been doing this for 90 minutes. We've been doing this for a hot minute. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share anything the Pop Off Sports Network. And don't forget to go into our IG because we're populating that now. We are getting info. We are taking sports info and we are trying to hit it first. We know there's other bigger, I'm just going to say bigger outlets out there. Hey, root for the little guy. That's us. We're doing the thing. Also, things we missed. Is there anything that we missed, boys, before we head out?
I know the Halliburton's dad was on there. And
yeah.
I'll say real quick, we don't have to go into it crazy, but a band's a band. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, that was good.
A band is a band.
Yeah, you're not wrong. No exceptions. You're right. All right, great.
My thing that we missed that Sierra actually brought up, she wanted to talk about it, or wanted us to talk about it, was Brock Purdy getting paid a lot of money. I will say it has now made him the most overpaid player in football.
Wow.
And I think he's still only 7th on the list anyway. He's still overpaid.
Wildly overpaid. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's good to be a white guy quarterback, right?
Yeah, they're rare now. They're few and far between. Yes.
Real quick, just think about how hard it was for a proven winner and MVP in my brain is fried from Baltimore.
Jackson? Are you talking about
Lamar Jackson to get his contract, and they just give they just give Brock Purdy a contract like that.
That is crazy because Lamar had to struggle, fight, claw. Oh my god!
And it was
right up until the 11th hour too. I think
literally.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to turn it into a race issue, obviously, but
it's a race issue.
It might be. There's something there because, like, he's already a proven winner, MVP. I mean, not a Super Bowl winner, but but we all know what we're saying. MVP and Brock Purdy. Okay, he's a nice player. He's done some things, but let's face it, that team had to be so perfect for him to,
And when it wasn't, what happened?
And when it wasn't, and we can say that about any quarterback, right? There's a lot of quarterbacks that when they lose a left tackle or a receiver or a running back, like things don't go well because that's what happens. But it seems like more for him than most others. And
Baker Mayfield lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the same game. And they are a playoff team. They did their thing. So I don't want to hear none of that.
Guys, I'm a season ticket holder for the Bucs now. So my second favorite team. Yeah, I'm down here. I'm like, I was looking for the Jet ticket because I know the Jets will be down here. And I'm like, let me see what they're gonna. And then I'm like, you know what? Me and Certified Rob actually, we got 3 tickets amongst us, and we're Bucs season ticket holders. We're also Orlando Magic season ticket holders now too. So.
Whoa. All right, Bragger McBraggerton.
No, that's an invitation for y'all to come hang out.
It's happening. Yeah, it'll happen for sure. Okay, thing I'm going to bring to the table is the fact that we are jumping into, I believe it's week 3 of the WNBA. The preseason had happened. It came quick. It was fast. It was furious. But now we're going into week 3. So make sure you watch those ladies play ball. It has been nothing but fantastic. Again, we've been paying attention to it a lot more since a couple years back when we followed the WNBA or followed the NCAA women's, and now we're jumping on to the WNBA. So make sure you give it some love. And I see that there is a question on here for me. Does he believe in Joe Hendry?
You know what that is?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's more of a question for Wudi, really.
It is. Yeah, it's a wrestler. Or he is a wrestler.
Oh.
And his like theme song is like, I believe in Joe Hendry. so that's
I see what you did. I see what you did. Hey, Johnny boy, didn't work. Lost on me. Okay, moving on.
Wait, Wudi, do you believe in Joe Hendry?
Yeah, I believe in Joe Hendry.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay, I'll vote for somebody.
One thing I do want to say, because Nigel brought this up, WNBA is making a lot of money actually betting because they're pretty predictable what they do. Yo, stop coming at my girl Angel Reese. Come on, man.
Oh, dude,
I love Angel Reese.
Bro, last night my entire IG feed was just criticism, and I'm not talking about like people. I'm talking about Bleacher Report.
Right.
House of Highlights or whatever. Yeah, like the actual like company, the media companies, like, yo, this girl sucks. Like they coming at her neck, man. And I don't know what she did to deserve that. She is a passionate player. They kind of put her into this thing with Caitlin Clark, but they're not the same type of player at all.
No.
And there we go. Like, what I'm saying? It's just
he can't. Knowing Rob as long as I've known him, he can't stand Angel Reese, and he's absolutely 100% wrong.
Say that again.
He's been very critical of Angel Reese. I've known Rob for a while now, and he's very critical of Angel Reese, and he couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah. So it's just really tough to see. Like I feel like the media has completely rewritten her story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah, they turned.
I think if she would have came out a different year in the draft, or if she would have been part of a different generation, we'd look at her differently. But I think because she came out with America's darling of Caitlin Clark, it's either you're Caitlin Clark or you're Angel Reese, and I don't think that's fair because they are two way different players. Angel Reese is her identity isn't the same as Caitlin Clark's, and Caitlin Clark's is not the same as Angel Reese's. They do different things on the court. You can't compare them. That's like trying to compare like Shaquille O'Neal to like Michael Jordan. They're two different games. You can't compare them. And it's the same thing. I'm not saying they're either Michael Jordan or Shaq. I'm not saying that, but it's the same kind of thing. You can't compare games like that. You can't compare, Patrick Ewing to like, Trae Young. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, I think that's part of it is that they're compared a lot. And too much maybe. And is it a race thing? I don't know. We've talked about it a couple times on here, but
bro, she's not Obama. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. The disrespect is crazy.
That's exactly sort of crazy, Rob. So we always the one that complains about her. Rob, you knock her all the time, and now you're saying, well, it's like comparing Kareem to Obama. They're not the same player.
Well, hey, if you want to check out,
she is the baddie.
If you want to check out an amazing game, that's going to be Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. The New York Liberty, the reigning WNBA champions, New York Liberty at 2-0, and they will be playing the Indiana Fever in Indiana. So that's going to be high tension, I am sure. What's not going to be high tension is the rest of my day because I got a package right across from me over here. The sky is opening up. Hey, ladies, gentlemen, friends, family, have a fantastic weekend. Last words from Eugene, weekend words?
I want to recite a quote from FitzMagic, the book of FitzMagic, chapter 3, verse 16, and that is, fuck Boston.
Great. There's only one chapter in this book. Weekend words from James Wudi.
There's only one thing to say. 2 games played during the weekend. Let's go Knicks.
I love it. Sports is all around us. Let's get after it. Thank you for watching and listening to the Pop Off. That's it. Peace, and we out.